Hello, hello, and welcome back to Fallout 4 NCR Lone Ranger. I'd like to apologize right off the bat for the quality of the video last time, episode 2. Well, it gave me a lot of problems, so yeah, we'll see about not doing that again. And as usual, before we get going, we'll take care of anything that needs to be taken care of. There we go. Did I get any more 44 ammo? That's 3. Well, that's not enough. Alright. And one last quick check round. Alright. Let's see, and let's see, where did that? Let's go this way. Having cleared out them raiders, the ranger knew what she had to do next. The two others made themselves clear as to where they had set themselves down. As she set out, she found some more of them raiders' victims. Some ghouls and some other raiders. She hadn't taken these out, so must have been the others. So she headed east. She had seen the drive-through theater on her way there, decided against going there, but now, well, now she had reason to go back. However, this time, since she wasn't going back the straight way, came across a new set of buildings. Ones you hadn't seen before. Looked like a small farm by the looks of it. Built under one of them grand power lines. Good structures now, but not much then.
Here for work? We could use some help picking melons if you've got some spare time. I'll give you caps for any you can bring me.
No time right now.
That's all right. If you ever do feel like earning some extra caps, the offer's always there.
Nope, no time for picking flowers. Nope, there was killing to be done. However, she did make sure to keep note of this
That's close enough,
Abernathy
stranger.
farm.
We're a peaceful farm. We don't want any trouble.
As she went on her way, she saw that city again, and was reminded to stay out. Well, she'd seen one side of it going up. Apparently, she'll be watching the other side going down. Lots to see, however, lots to see. Once she passed by the town, she again saw her old friend of the road, and that seemed to have its own wealth of supplies. Trader, get
Yeah?
some of this extra weight.
Hey,
So what's your story? Looking to trade? Rob me? Or just ask directions to Diamond City?
Diamond City? Where's that?
Directions. Figures. Just keep going until you see the skyline. Cross the river. You'll find the Great Green Jewel just inside the city limits.
Then trouble
What
came
just
a-brewing.
happened?
Raiders happened, ma'am. No, no, no. Weren't you paying no kind of attention? The Ranger doesn't get killed by raiders, she kills raiders. That's kind of her whole thing. Ugh. So once again, she left the Ranger cabin, headed east, came across a farm, couldn't stop to pick the flowers. You really got to start paying more attention there, buddy. I ain't got all day to tell you every little detail of her life. I'm here to tell you the legend of the lone NCR Ranger. So, as I was saying, after she found the farm, she continued down past the city, down the road. While she was heading down the road, she heard sounds of gunfire and came across a tradesperson.
Hey,
So what's your story? Looking to trade? Rob me?
Diamond City?
Directions. Figures. You'll find the Great Green Jewel just inside the city limits.
Carla,
Hey there. Trading?
let's see what you got.
Here's what I got.
We're looking for some ammo in particular. .44 mag. Sadly, she ain't had none. So just sold a few guns to get some caps. Now, as I was saying, when she continued down the road, there was trouble a-brewing.
We had a deal, Trudy. Hand over the goods. You owe us.
I ain't giving you poison shilling chem pushers anything. Do you know what that junk has done to my boy?
He bought them fair and square, Trudy. Ain't our fault if he's strung out. Now don't make me come in there and shoot up that little trading post of yours.
Well, the answer was real simple here. Chem pushers versus honest trade. Can't have that now.
Mom!
Karma's paying off.
Well, you know what? That there trading post owner was mighty grateful.
I can't wait to see the crows feeding on that scumbag. Here, this is for you. Now, if you ever need to trade, my shop's open.
I'll take a look. Sure.
It's all worth every cap I'm charging.
Sadly, she didn't have the right kind of ammo. Had more than enough 38s. So perhaps some junk will do. Wouldn't be the last time she stopped at that trading post, but, you know, that's not really relevant to the story right now. Nope. That there trading post is right near that there drive-in theater. Matter of fact, from a distance away, you could clearly see that raider she was going after. Pinkerton. Now that Pinkerton did get himself a mighty fine place to hole up. That drive-in screen did prove itself to be a mighty fine vantage point. Sadly, he did not have enough smarts to bring himself a proper gun. He had a hog leg up there instead of anything worth a dang for a long range. So she showed him the right kind of gun to use. Stim or no, he ain't gonna help you. Like the others, Pinkerton had himself a note, but it was at least worth looking over. See what he had himself up here. What he had was nice, fine ammo. Couple weapon modifications, and himself a radio. Hey Pinkerton, forgot the kids up by the vault. If they crack that egg, it's a boon. If not, at least the weaklings are out of the way, and who knows, with Sam's experience in the NCR Army, maybe she can whip some prospects into shape. But you just watch that diner. I want you to note all the caravan's comings and goings. Priest is set up in a church on the route from the creepy town Covenant to this Bunker Hill. He will be watching for caravans leaving north from there. If you need help, just cross the bridge south to Covenant and look for the church on your right. Also dropped a fresh crew of prospects. His nasty butt will turn into jackals. You need supply, head up to the church. If the north crew help, try and get out of it. Well, the ranger knew exactly where she had to go next. Town of Covenant. Church right near there. However, it would be rather remiss of her if she didn't at least look around this place a bit. There's plenty of boxes and crates and supplies that might prove handy on her travels. Mole rats. Filthy creatures. Always have been, always will be. If nothing else, they were ugly, but sometimes they were useful getting meat. Something strangely satisfying about killing for your dinner. Well, with that there diner, or drive-through, found a place to be able to store some of the things she didn't want to carry all the time. Didn't plan on coming back here too often, but at least she now had a place to go. Seems someone in here had rigged the door to blow with a makeshift bomb. Well, it's better than nothing. Had to applaud the raiders here for at least that little bit of ingenuity. Let's see. Cross the bridge south of Covenant. Well, south is where she had to go. Now, right by that drive-through was one of those lovely sights of the old world, a grand and beautiful train. Long since frozen in place by time, but still looked real good from the way it seemed. She had noticed that many of these fine overhead, overpasses for cars which once drove over had fallen into a great state of disrepair. They looked almost wilted in the sunlight, almost sad. However, this did lead her to a lake. Now she had passed by the town of Covenant before, didn't realize that was its name, but she had seen it, and had learned where it was, so figured she'd backtrack just a bit. However, this lake did reveal to it a crashed vertibird. Now, she'd seen these back in her time in the Mojave. The Brotherhood of Steel and those dastardly Enclave fellers had it. And she decided at least take a look. Besides, once again, old pre-war army sometimes had stuff you wanted. And fusion cores were always good trade. The town of Covenant seemed contradictory. It said welcome above the door, but the great big walls and the turrets said otherwise. She'd just keep on moving. Well, the town of Covenant would be left behind her. As she headed down that road, she was told she needed to head south and look for a bridge. And also, another earlier note said that that bridge would be booby-trapped. So she kept her eyes about her, keep her wits too. Make sure she didn't fall into that booby trap. However, she did notice that along the way there was at least one lovely house, a few more across the way. She felt it a little ironic that it was only a few paces away from where she started this little venture. But hey, that's where life brings you around sometimes. She came across that booby-trapped bridge and recognized some of the dangers as soon as she saw it. She'd have to be careful, keep her wits about her. But then she thought, well, let's just set the whole thing off. Didn't take much for the whole thing to go ablaze. Oh yeah, that was not subtle. Those raiders, if they were watching this bridge, knew someone was coming. And if they looked, they'd see it was the Ranger. She wasn't all that worried, however. She didn't care if they knew she was coming. It was on her, not them. So apparently, she had to go find herself a creepy church right near this bridge. Instead, she found herself some bugs. And then, apparently, egged on by her own son's gunfire, other gunfire broke out nearby. One guy had himself a rocket launcher, and that just would not do.
This is fucking crazy!
Getting a bad feeling here. Think I'm scared, huh?
Something spooked even the dog. Then she saw it. Something she never thought she'd ever see. Especially not since her days when the NCR teamed up with the Brotherhood of Steel. A raider wearing power armor.
Just give up! Turn him down! I can't think!
Now, if you ask her, the fight against them raiders, she would not have said it was easy. But it was not unchallenging either.